Well, hello everyone, Unlimited Wisdom family, and I love and appreciate you guys each and every one of you. And the subject for today is patience. It is pretty interesting that um, how difficult it is for me and other people. It's like when you're waiting on something, how can you have a great attitude while you're still waiting? You know what I mean? And, there's a lot of things that are out there. One of the things that I know I personally do is I keep bringing it up all the time when, because I know that you guys have heard this phrase, but when you're worrying or you're anxious or you have anxiety, what you're doing is, you're just, causing a chemical reaction inside of your body that you don't have to do. And one of the things that's very unique is that you hear all these people, the best people in the world, that there's if you went into Google or went to AI and put the best quotes on being patient, which I thought was really, really interesting because faith is speaking as things that are as if they're not, right? And so if you can find joy and be happy and what you're going to create, your imagination again is actually emotionally getting excited about what's going to happen for you and your family. And it is pretty interesting that a lot of people really get very anxious and very impatient, and they even get to the point where they're actually they're upset at people. So sometimes I've done this, and people laugh. Hi, Angela. And there's a lot of people that laugh with this all the time because I always tell people that my wife is the only perfect driver I know. Because if anyone's not moving out of her way, they're a bleep, 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 bleep. And if someone comes flying up on her behind her, going faster than she is, so they either have to pass her or she's got to get out of the way. Well, there's a bunch of bleeps for them as well. But, you know, it's really interesting that, um, like, I can give you guys a bunch of examples when I thought of patience. And there's some things that we know that shouldn't be rushed, even though we wish they were. Like when you plant a seed, for instance, its patience is bitter, but yet how many people want the fruit to be ripe? How many people want the fruit to taste good? And any one of us that have eaten anything have actually eaten things that are not ripe. They're either, before you were supposed to pick them, you know what I mean? So apples are a really great example in a lot of things. But man, you eat an apple before it's ripe and not good. Not good. So we don't have to talk about waiting too long. That could be an old video, a whole nother video. But there is this thing where you're constantly, again, doing your best to control your emotions and controlling what you feel. And when people really put themselves in a great, great place in life where they know that it just needs to happen when it happens. And it's funny, I'm really, really glad that Coach Bob is on here. I don't know if he's hearing me already, but I was going to say that I'm dedicating this video to Coach Bob, and because he's sending out messages to me, that a lot of people would is like, hey, did you guys hear about the new Escalade that's coming out November 15th? And it's like, yeah, I heard a little bit about it. What's the motor? It they're going to tell us on November 15th. Okay, great. I get it. I understand it. But what colors are they coming out with? Um, it's coming out on November 15th. Do you and don't you guys find it funny when people just keep asking you questions about something you know nothing about? Like zero about. So then why is it that people take that personal, right? This is what gets you, right? So it's like I'm I'm not making fun of people, but it's like people feel so anxious and they have to take, action right now. What am I going to do? It's like, is it really truly impossible for you to just be chill, just be still, just relax? I can guarantee you, if I went to a bunch of people that are very, very close to you and said, hey, right now we're in a transition. We won't know the stuff that we need till November 15th. Is there anything that you've wanted to do with Bob that he always tells you he's too busy, that he's got to get this handled, that he's got to get this handled? Because right now he's got like 10 days. He can go do those stuff because he can't do anything right now. And so one of the things I just threw in here really quickly, in AI, but it was Thomas Edison that says how many people have heard this? All good things come to those who wait, you know? But how many people also know that there's a phrase from Abraham Lincoln, and it's like good things come to those who wait, but only what's left over from those that hustle. you know so there's always this little concept to be still and just know. So like me, when things happening and they're in the middle, the first thing that I want each and every one of you to do, hi Kevin, is just go back and look in the past. Just go back and look at the past when you were anxious or you felt like things weren't happening fast enough. And sometimes when things are still for me and it feels like, things are not really happening, it's just because the pathway isn't open for me to run wide open. So it's like time for me to really, really honestly relax, just to take a breath. I think that I could have easily yesterday made it to the gate in time. I don't know why I was walking so fast that, so when I tried to switch hands with my handbag, that, I biff it in front of all those people and now my ankles hurt. I had plenty of time to get to the gate. I could have just walked slow. But so I think it's funny that one thing is that really just understanding that when things are coming together, that it's going to be worth it. I always love that concept is, man, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Now, here's another thing is I do have the ability to imagine my future. How many of you are getting really good at this? And so again, if you practice, you get really good at imagining your future. And what you got to just realize that if you can get in that state, I use again, washed by the word and other things. But these are the times that it gets really, really good for you to practice being still, being chill, or at least doing something that might not have to do with anything until you wait. Hi, Faith. Thank you very much for jumping on. So there was a couple of things that I wanted to bring up because I just thought it was funny when I decided, those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Okay, so how many of you need things to happen right away because there's unrealistic expectations? But maybe what you need to do is sort of really chill and relax, because when things get launched, it might take a lot of your time and effort and energy. So, some of you know that when, Terry and I started My Daily Choice, you know what I mean? I think it was, yeah, I think that I talked to in 48 hours, like over 800 people. Is that crazy? So I left messages for like 800 people in my first couple of days. And it's like, so that might be something, right? Another thing here is Let me see. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while you're waiting. So again, one of those things I think that are really amazing is just how we sometimes defeat ourselves, sabotage ourselves, right? Because again, I love this concept of a relationship. Like I see a lot of people right now that are so anxious and they're so worried that they'll just, do a total, like a relationship when you're with somebody and it's a total rebound, right? And I see these people, "Well, I can't wait anymore." So what they do is they let their guard down and then they talk to somebody that might give them any kind of information that they need to just jump in another company. And I'm just like going, I feel sorry for those people because I know one thing for a fact: when I jump, and I will jump at the right time, when I jump, people are still going to be FOMO'd. It's like, hey, look how fast he's building. Why did he pick this company? Why is he doing this? Why is this happening? So I love that there's people that have actually reached out to me, and I'll give a shout out to Mary. Some of you have reached out to me, and Mary's going, "I don't know what's happening and what's going on. Just know I'm there." And I just love that because, I do have a pretty good track record. And so people keep, wanting to, beat up people that are slow in making decisions. But my God, some of the decisions that are being made right now are big, big, big decisions, right? So, there was something for some of you, I'll just throw out there. A lot of people have been sending me messages recently that they thought there was supposed to be some big call today. You know what I mean? And I just thought that when Josh did his last thing saying that he was separating, that it was just separating on the 4th. I don't think that but I have seen people that are actually doing some opportunity stuff for whatever's happening in Akashics. But again, I just want you to know that when you're dealing with perfect timing, I thought of a bunch of things. One of them is, whether you guys like NASCAR or not. It's really, really interesting that me and Craig were talking right before we got on here. And for some of you that, know that I've expressed this, there's a guy that's, he's won 60 races. He's 44 years old. The guy he's a Hall of Famer. And so he goes into the very last race. He only has to beat 3 other people. And in the race of a little over 300 laps, he leads a little over 200 laps. He's the fastest car. You check everything. And he's finally going to win this. There's absolutely no doubt that he's going to win this. And then there's some laps left to go. Guy gets a flat tire, wrecks into the wall. Now, a couple cars stay out. They don't get tires. A couple of cars come in, get 2 tires. And Denny Hamlin gets 4. And I was telling Craig that if you have 4 tires and everyone in front of you has 2 or no tires, you're pretty much hosed. That is without a doubt the right decision and the best decision. So then all of a sudden they throw the green flag and there's only 3 laps left. And he just couldn't get past Kyle Larson. Just couldn't even get to him. And so Kyle Larson won his second world championship, and he's super young. Super, super young. And everyone after the race is like, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Because the person that won the world championship did not expect to win it. Because for 3 hours he had to drive, and he's like, "Where's Denny Hamlin?" Well, he's like 8 seconds ahead of you. Can anybody even run with him? No. He is on a rail. He is the fastest car. He's not messing up. It's like, well, all we can do is do our best. And the guy that won the world championship didn't lead one lap because all he needed to do was finish in front of Denny Hamlin. And so everybody's like, everyone was freaking stunned. And so he's only waited 25 years for this. No, wait a minute. He probably thought about it when he was in the Infinity cars and the truck cars, and also when he was racing go-karts and when he was, so, pretty much he's 44 years old. I can guarantee you this has been a vision and a dream of his for 34 years. What a great example. So he finished second points again. Do you guys think he should race next year or just throw it away? Ah, I can guarantee you, like maybe even today, he's still like going, wait a minute. But sometimes it's like relationships, and sometimes it's like, having a baby. It's like when you finally throw your hands up and just go, well, I guess I'm okay with not being in a relationship. I guess I'm just going to be single my whole life. And then the next time you see them, they're married. And you're going like, how the hell did that happen? Oh, I met this person. We just immediately fell in love, So I always think of Matt's relationship because it's like people go, wow, you guys met? Yeah, we met online. Then in a couple of weeks, I jumped on an airplane, went and met her. And then we went to Vegas because my dad was speaking at an event and we got married. And it's like, what? And same thing like I shared with, Matt, when we tried really, really hard to have a baby and Terry wanted, children so bad. And then she gets in a topic and almost dies. And then we just basically say, well, maybe it's not meant to be. And then Matt's here. So it's like, I think that each and every one of you can really, really ask yourself, okay, if everything was supposed to happen right now, how would I want it to be? If everything was, so how many people would like things to happen correctly? Why do we always think that we're the person that makes that happen? Because it is really interesting, regardless of who you talk to, that everyone always talks about this resistance that we're constantly in, that we're not in alignment and we're not allowing. For those of you that do believe in a higher power, I'm 100% waiting until the right time. So that's all I have to say. I was just thinking right there, I felt like I was Forrest Gump. That's all right. That's all I really have to say about that. So, do I know that it's difficult? I do. Do I wish I could give you some answers? Yes, I do. But it's like there's other people out there that are spreading all kinds of rumors, but I'm going to tell you what, they're going to lose. They're going to go, wait a minute, wait a minute. And they're never going to go out to all the people that lied to them and said, wait a minute, you lied to me. So, so when you said update, Bob, the only thing that I know right now is that there's something huge going to happen on the 15th, November 15th. So I know that date. Say, okay. And from my understanding, with the Kashyyyks, is everything switched over today? But as a person that's in MDC and the Kashyyyks, nothing really changes. It's like if you were going to send your link to someone in Akashics, you would send that link. If you're going to send someone an MDC, you would send that link, or if you're focused on product. So the genealogy that you have is in both companies, and now Akashic's just got a little different compensation plan. So that's all the upgrades that I have. So yeah, it's if I could help, I would. If I knew what was going on, because I even tell people, sometimes the way that I deal with things is I don't want to know until it's ready. Josh is over the years, other leaders, other owners over the years, it goes, man, let me tell you, I don't know if you guys have been with a bunch of companies, but man, I've been with a number of companies that constantly said they were going to do stuff and never did. So the last thing that I want to do is have some exciting news, share that with a bunch of people that know, like, and trust me. And then they go, whatever happened to that one deal? Well, I don't know. So a lot of owners and a lot of leaders get mad at me because they say, hey, listen, you should be promoting. I go, listen, when it's the back office and people can order it and get it and do testimonials on it, I can guarantee you that I will be one of the top 5 that ever promoted it. When the goal's really number 1 again. So I love each and every one of you. See you guys tomorrow. Take care. God bless. And we'll talk to you soon. If any one of you want to ask me anything on a private, you guys are my family. I'll do my best. And I dedicated this to Coach Bob and his patience. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. See you, Lisa Marie, Faith, Matthew, Angela, Kevin, Coach Bob, Melody, Deborah, Sandy, Bill. I love you guys. CJ, the hostess with the mostest.